episode of Mimi's Musings podcast. I'm your host, Gungo Mildred, and I'm so happy that you've joined me on another Wednesday for another amazing review. On today's episode, I'm going to be giving a review of a South African movie called Real Estate Sisters. Real Estate Sisters is a 2024. It's like romantic comedy and drama movie written by Rebetswe Moeti, hope that's how you say the name, and Zoe Ramushu. I hope that's how you say the name again, and directed by Rebetswe Moeti. The cast include Galaletsang Kaufman, she plays Lerato Maseko. Lira Mtetwa plays Malebo Maseko. Hope that's how you say the name, by the way. Lerato Maketa plays Ton Segale. Gomotso Motsiane plays Tato Maseko. Sibongile Nojila plays Mama Z. Ebeneza, I think that's how that name is supposed to be. Dibakwane plays Sizwe Dambuza. Jerry Chiridza plays Ruthless. Marcus Busela plays Boyki. Jude O'Donovan plays Kati. Sami Mashabane plays Detective Motsepe. Zoe Ramushu is the newspaper reporter. Pilo Sitebe plays Rima Seko. And Karen Vanderlang plays Mrs. D, amongst other cast members. Now, if you love spoilers like me, you can continue watching this. If you do not like spoilers, I urge you to please leave. Go to Netflix, watch the movie, then come back and watch this or listen to me, because this is your official spoiler alert. I'm so sorry. I just have to give a disclaimer. I'm so sleepy. I'm so tired. I don't know what's happening today. I think it's the cold mixed with I don't know what, but I don't know. So forgive me if this review is going to be tricky. And I've realized that this is not the only one. Love, Sex, and 30 Candles. I also, when I was doing the editing, like it was too long. It was 40 something minutes. But then again, I was like, should I just cut the whole thing out? What do I do? Because I love that movie so much, but I feel like recording it, I didn't give it that much justice. I think I've just been tired of late. I think it's the late recording, and I've been pre-recording a lot of episodes so that I can be able to edit them and then put them out. So it's like I wake up editing and then all of that, and then problems with the editing app that I'm using, and then again recording, and like it has been tiring. So I feel like I'm so tired because I'm recording until the end of September, so that at least there'll be shows until the end of September. That way, if I have issues with Wi-Fi or whatever, at least that will be sorted. For a whole month I'll have shows going out. So yeah, it's been really tiring and I'm so tired. I just don't know. But I'll try to do this movie some justice and give you my review so that, you can decide if you want to watch it or not. So, Real Estate Sisters is about these two siblings. They are real estate agents. So the movie starts with them. Like one of them is showing like a house in the I think this is part of their ghetto, I don't know, because that house was terrible. Like, how are you showing a house that even the wardrobes cannot open because they have rust and they have I don't know what? That house had rats and everything. And the other sister on the other side was tasked to go and get rent from a particular tenant, and it was a man, and this man just did not want to leave that house, and he did not want to pay because he didn't have the money, he had drunk it all. And so this lady goes back to be like, because the boss tells her, if you do not come with my money or kick that person out, I'm going to fire you. So she goes back in and forces him out. And then I think that was the wife, because at that time, usually when you're watching movies on Netflix, like if they're Kenyan or South African, they'll just give you like the caption when they're using their mother tongues. Like if they're using Kotsa, or if they're using Tswana or, Zulu, it will just write down there. But this one, they weren't doing that. So at first I wasn't sure if they even have it or they don't. So I was just watching and I'm like, what's happening? So by the time I realized, oh yeah, let me go and turn it on and stuff like that, that part had already passed. But I don't know who it was. I don't know if it was that man's wife or if it was that man's mother. I do not know. but yeah, she was elderly. And so she kicks them both out. So later on, she goes back. This is, by the way, Malebo Maseko. So that's one of the siblings. So of course she loses her job eventually. And on the other side, the sister, that house that was trying to sell with the rat inside of it, she didn't sell it. And so she has like this, I think it was an interview with this white woman, and she was trying to tell her, like, if you in order for you to be a real estate agent, you have to learn our culture, you have to do blah 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 blah. And she was listening, and she was like, yeah. So she asked her for her qualifications. She hadn't done real estate, so I don't really remember what she had done. Like, she had some documents, she had gone to some college, but yeah, that woman was like, you know what, there's this other lady, she started as the assistant to the secretary in our company, and she learned the culture, and now we are going to promote, I think, the receptionist into a real estate agent, and now that assistant is going to be the receptionist, and you can come in as the assistant receptionist, learn our culture first before you can be the receptionist. Then in 3 years maybe you can become a real estate agent. So she has her dreams. This is Lerato. She has her dream. She does not want that. So she says, like, no, I can't do that. And so she's sat at this very expensive restaurant. And when that lady walks off, the waiter comes. He had come and brought them water. And this other lady, the one that was interviewing, didn't pay for it. So he brings the check to Lerato. Lerato opens, and it's 100 rand for a bottle of water. It's not even like a 1 liter one. I don't know if it was actually, but even if it was 100 rand, I don't know how much that is in Kenyan shillings, but I know it's a lot. And the only reason is because it's an expensive hotel or restaurant, rather. So, so she sat there wondering, I don't know what she was thinking about. And then this guy sends over a drink that is stone segale. So he sends over a drink, where the waiter brings it, and she's like, I didn't order anything. So anyway, she approaches him and they start talking. And this guy was smooth. Again, my face was crinkling. I think I need to start dating again, because it's weird how cringy I feel like people who are in love are, which is very, very wrong, because I don't know why I cringe. Just looking at people being all lovey-dovey. I used to love seeing love. But nowadays I watch it and I'm like, ew, ugh. I don't know what's happening. I'm not a hater, believe me, I'm not a hater. I don't know what's happening. But yeah, so they start doing that. And this guy, they go for a picnic, blah, blah, blah. And he just basically love bombs her. So one day they go out clubbing, and Lerato invites the sister, that's Malebo Maseko, and her man, Boiki. So they go out and they club, blah, blah, blah. And then that's the night that Lerato goes home with Stone, and they do the hanky pankies. It was, whoa, yeah, very, very, it was too much. Anyway, so they do that, and then in the morning she wakes up in his bed. She walks downstairs, because this guy told her that he's in pharmaceuticals. Didn't specify what exactly, but he just said that he's in pharmaceuticals. She walks downstairs, and the house that he lives in is big, it's huge. So she walks downstairs, he meets her, and he's surprised, like, what are you doing downstairs? What are you doing here? And she's like, I just woke up and came downstairs. How long ago? Just now. And so he's like, okay, fine. I just didn't want you to ruin the surprise. He brings out breakfast. I don't know, were they croissants or what? Like, it was just a platter of different things. So they eat, and then he turns on the news, and there's news of this guy who has disappeared. That is Sizwe Dambuza. So he's, I think, the prime minister's son or something like that. And so he watches that news for a little bit, and he switches the TV off and gives his house keys to Lerato, tells her that he needs her to sell his house for him. So everything he was doing was suspicious, and I was suspecting him too. Like, even when they met and everything, he was doing the love bombing and everything, I was suspecting him, like, just to be a criminal. But you can't judge, you have to give people a chance, blah blah blah. So Lerato is happy because she's been promised a 15% cut off of whatever the house is going to make, which was like, he was supposed to sell the house for 8 million, and so she was going to get 1.2 million rand after the house sells. So It was going to be good money, and she wanted the money so she can start her own business, like a real farm, so that she can be selling her the houses for herself. And so she agrees, and she's so happy. Anyway, they come to show the house, and there's this guy at the gate in a dark car. And you're like, okay, so what's happening? He comes back later during a showing of the house, and again Lerato chases him away because she's like, you're the type of people who come to open houses and try and steal from people, so go before I call the police. He leaves. He comes at that time at a different date, and that time this person anyway, let me, before I get to that, Lerato is showing the house. There's this woman, Mrs. D, and I think Scotty was her son, or I don't know who it was, but they were together all the time. So they went to open houses in other places just to see how the white people sell their houses, and that's when they met Mrs. D and Scotty. And so they Malebo invited them for their open house. Apparently they just black people walk around with chicken in their bags in South Africa, especially during showings of houses. It was weird and it was crazy, and I loved it because how come, like, Scotty just saw her and walked over and was like, hey, do you have chicken? And she was like, yeah. Open up her purse, and there was a like a box like the ones from KFC, and there was chicken there, fried chicken. And she gave him a piece. Mrs. D came and she gave Mrs. D a piece, and she also took a piece for herself, and they started eating like it was normal. That's just something that happens in South Africa apparently. Like, I loved it. But anyway, so they come to their open house, and this man, that's when he comes again. But then Mrs. D wants to buy the house, and she wants these two sisters as her friends as well. She's calling them her best friends because apparently she has gotten into some money, like trust fund, like of 10 million. And so Lerato is very happy about that because she can buy the house. So while they're showing the house that second time, or was it the first time? The first time, they go downstairs because she was like, you know what, we have even a wine cellar, you can come and sit. And she goes and shows them. The guy, Scotty, already takes a bottle of whiskey, and Lerato has to tell him no. And so they take wine, and she's like, do you have like ice, or do you know if there's a cold one in the fridge? So she goes to open the fridge, and a dead Sizo Dambuza is there. Like that time that she came downstairs, apparently Stone had just finished doing some very serious damage. And so that's why he wanted to sell the house very quickly. So she sees the dead body and she's shook. She, confuses the people, Mrs. D and Scotty, not to be able to see the fridge. Tells them, and like people who are new to money, they're easily so like, no, rich people don't like this, rich people like this, and so they leave it at that. She goes and tells the sister, and this is like, let's tell the police. She's like, no, Mrs. D wants to buy the house. Let's sell the house to him. We get our commission and we leave it at that. Like, white people problems. Like, if it's her who's caught with the body here, it won't be our problem. It will be easier on her. But anyway, so when everybody leaves the house, because they're like, let's wait for everybody to leave the house before we call the police. And so she helps Mrs. D go out. When she comes back, the sister is not in the room. Goes downstairs and finds the sister with the fridge open with this Sizwe who's dead, like just sitting there looking. And it was such a weird state because his eyes were open. And it was just weird. But anyway, so she goes to the police. That is Malebo. But then Lerato comes and tells her to not, because they spend the night in that house, by the way. How, I do not know. Because this is somebody who's dead and it's not somebody that they know. I wouldn't sleep in such a house. I would feel like it is haunted. Because how do you know that he wasn't tortured to death? And his soul is screaming in that house. I wouldn't be able to sleep in that house. So they slept because they were drunk anyway. And so in the morning, Malebo goes to the police and tries to report. But Mrs. D calls Lerato and tells her that she's willing to buy the house, but she wants an open house for the people who doubted her, blah, 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 like to come and see that she now has money. And so they come. They organize. She comes and takes Malebo from the police station and tells her the plan. And so they agree. The new open house, 3,000 rand. Boyki, by the way, he and Malebo have kids. and he has not been pulling his weight, when it comes to money at the house. So like it was just a weird thing. Go and watch it so that you can know his part. I won't be talking about him too much. But by that time he had become manager. He had requested to be given a promotion at work, and he was the manager. So he had gotten some money and he gave it to my label, which helped them to set up the last show for the house. And so Mrs. D comes with her people and they're there. She's supposed to be signing these papers because that's all these sisters want. But she keeps delaying, oh, I want photos, or blah, blah, blah. And then because they had told, Malebo had told their mom about what had happened, like there was a dead person in that house. So she comes with a choir to sing for the spirits to go away. She hadn't told the choir what was happening apparently, but they come there and they interfere the first time. Then again they are about to sign, the bell rings again and it's somebody else. Like it was just chaotic. That guy, Ruthless, I think, he comes in to take the body. I don't know why he always came during the day. Because if you're coming to take the body out of the house, why don't you move it at night? If that house is supposed to have a showing every single day, why are you coming during the day, during the showing? That's one thing I just didn't understand. Like, why don't you come at night? The person who killed that person is the owner of the house. He's the one who has sent you. He has the alarm, security alarm, codes and everything. Like, I don't know why he kept coming during the day. Then finally the police come because they have gotten an alert that there are drugs being sold at that mansion. So they come in and they start looking through the house. When Ruthless came that day, he went downstairs and saw the body, but he only managed to move it from the basement to the kitchen fridge, which again was weird. Because why? He took that man's kofia, the one that he was wearing, and he changed the body from the basement fridge to the kitchen fridge. And nobody saw him. How? I do not know. So the police come in and they go everywhere. They're searching, no drugs. In the basement, they open the fridge, there's nobody. The sisters sigh with relief and they're thanking God and everything. They go back upstairs. In the kitchen, the officer wants some water. And the ladies go like, just press the fridge, there's water that is going to come out. Nothing is coming out. The officer opens the fridge and bam, there is Sizwe. So I'm like, how did dead Sizwe leave the basement to the kitchen? Like, I know it's Ruthless who did it, but why? Why move him from the basement to the kitchen? Like, it was just crazy. But anyway, so everybody in that house is arrested. The choir women just sing because they know nothing, honestly. And then the sisters are the ones who are detained because they're the ones who were showing the house. Mrs. D, Scotty, and the people that Mrs. D had brought, they all leave because, well, they knew nothing. And so they go, but Mrs. D sticks to her guns and she says that those two ladies are my best friends. And so I love that about her. So everybody else is released, but the girls are detained. The mom prays for them, and Boki comes and pays for their release, like their bail, and they are released. So once they leave, because by the way, Malebo was very upset and she told her sister some, choice words while they were arrested. And so once they leave, they get home and Lerato starts checking through their phone because during that last showing, they had seen a photo of Stone with Sizwe at the party because they was trying to figure out who that man was and when they had seen each other. So she goes back home and checks through the photos and the videos they took that night that they were out, and she figures out some things. She talks to the sister, they make a plan with the police, and she calls Stone. This time Stone answers because she had been trying to call him and he wasn't answering the phone. So I think they pretended that the house was sold, and then she called him to ask him like why did he do what he did, blah blah blah, and he sort of confesses what he did to Sizwe. And so because he was thinking that he's coming to meet her, the police pull up on him and they stop him in his car, they arrest him, and that's how he's arrested, and the ladies are free, which I found that part was very very rushed. I know it wasn't the whole movie, but it was the last part, but I feel like it was very, very rushed. Anyway, so after that, the ladies are now sort of famous, I guess, because the movie ends there. But then, so at the end, post credit scenes, they're there and they get more business from people because there's this lady who sets up a email account for them, and so they start getting more deals, like to come and be the ones to show their houses. So yeah, that's Real Estate Sisters. It was a short movie, 1 hour 23 minutes. It was lovely. I loved it. I laughed a lot, and the sisters were crazy. At first I wasn't so sure about it because of the way it starts, but then yeah, once you get into it, you start getting the gist of it. Like, it's very, very funny. I laughed. I loved it. It wasn't very serious, like it didn't take itself very seriously, but I saw some other reviews, people saying that it's a movie that is relatable. It felt like it was closer to home. I think it's because of how they spoke and how they carried themselves. Yeah, this one I found that it was really, really South African. They were in Pretoria and stuff. Like, it was beautiful. It's like how I was saying during the family vacation review. Like, South Africans show different parts of their country when they're showing their movies, and different parts of South Africa are beautiful. So whenever they shoot like a movie, or they try to say like it's from this place or this place, they always show that place. This one, they showed it. I didn't know that there were flamingos in South Africa. I saw it in this one because that's a different space. That's a different part that they showed. But we have flamingos in Kenya. When's the last movie that was shot in Kenya that showed flamingos in Lake Nakuru? Or is it Lake Naivasha? Whatever. When? Or is it Lake Elementaita? One of those lakes has flamingos. I don't know. I'm sorry. Geography Kitambo, I don't remember. But yeah, so it's just like, do scenes in different places, not just the coast. And so with this one, we saw a different side, and we saw a different kind of people, if I might say, and I loved it. The chemistry between the two sisters was on point. Like, you'd believe they're true sisters. I loved it. Like, Malebo had real big sister energy, even when they were arrested, because for some reason Lerato didn't have shoes, but Malebo did. So she had socks, and so she removed her shoes and gave them to her little sister, Lerato, and she remained with her socks. Like, isn't that just the best? I don't know. I just loved it. But yeah, their chemistry was so good. And the chemistry between Lebo and Boiki, the husband, was also good. Like, they weren't really married, but they had been dating since high school and they had kids together. So that was really, really good. The acting was on point. The direction was amazing. The cinematography, as I said, it was beautiful. Music, it's South Africa, so it was good. The editing was done well. Overall, I'll give it a 7 out of 10, because as much as I loved it, yeah, it wasn't like, those movies that you watch and they just hit you. Like, wow, this one was funny. Yes, it was. I felt like it was rushed, that last bit, which I didn't appreciate. I wish they could have taken, because Stone was not answering Lerato's phone calls before. What made him start answering her phone calls? In order for him to confess on the phone before he was arrested. Like, it just didn't make any sense. I feel like that part was really, really rushed. They should have played with it a little bit more. Even move it from 1 hour 23 minutes to 1 hour 30 minutes. Those 7 minutes would have done a little bit more, just to expound on that aspect, because we needed that. But anyway, yeah, I'll give it a 7 out of 10. But in general, it was just a good movie. It's a feel-good movie. It's rated 16. So if you have children under the age of 16, you cannot watch it with them. If you're a very strict parent, do not watch with even 16-year-olds. Let them get to 18 first, because of that, when they were dancing the tango, Lerato and Stone. So, yeah. But it's a nice movie. I would urge you to go to Netflix and watch it. Then come here and tell me if you agree with my reviews or if you do not. If you do, I'll appreciate it. If you do not, we are allowed to have difference in opinions. So that is okay. And yeah, while you are commenting, down in the comment section below, remember to also comment on my Instagram and follow me on Instagram as well. And remember to like, share, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications, so that whenever I upload something new, you're going to be amongst the first people to come and watch. Okay? Bye-bye now. Love you.